Welcome to Judge of Ghana TV. Akwa Baba, Judge of Ghana TV so.
In this episode of Judge of Ghana TV, I say it is time for Ghana to deport all indigenous people of Biafra members, IPOB members, back to Nigeria so that they can fight their battle for separation or secession from Nigeria.
We are Biafra, fighting for our freedom in the name of Jesus. We shall conquer. We are Biafra, fighting for our freedom in the name of Jesus. We shall conquer. We are Biafra, we are Biafra, fighting for our freedom. In the name of Jesus, we shall conquer.
This article comes from the Street Journal, dated 6 September 2021, and the title is IPOB moves to stop extradition of members arrested in Ghana. So this is from September 6, 2021. And there you have the photograph of the members of the indigenous people of Biafra who are in Ghana. The indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, have begun moves to secure the freedom of some of its members arrested in Ghana, Punch reports. The Punch is a Nigerian newspaper. Aloy Ejimoke, one of the lawyers representing the leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, made this known in a tweet on Monday, 6 September 2021, obviously. So this was in the tenure of former President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia. He explained that the step was to prevent the arrested Biafra agitators from being sent to Nigeria. The Ghanaian police had arrested some members of the IPOB around Malam Junction in Accra while they were having their monthly meeting. In a video online, the arrested members were seen singing a pro-Biafra solidarity song. They were subsequently taken to a police station in Accra where they were profiled. When they say they have been profiled, that means that they've taken photographs and fingerprints, and they've got a record of each of these pro-Biafrans, pure pro-IPOB members. So the police took identity details. The lawyer noted that he had sent some documents that would aid the release of the separatists. Listen to the word separatists. So these people who are members of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, are separatists. They want to be by themselves. So they want to be by themselves in their country called Nigeria. They want to be separated from Nigeria. So if we entertain them in Ghana here, what do you think they're looking to do? They're also looking to have their separate country within a country, or town within a country, or village within a country, which is exclusively theirs. And you see, you can't take the words of their leader, Ihenetu, Chukwudi Jude Ihenetu, for nothing. He made it explicit 2013, he said initially, and then he reiterated it in 2018. that they want to have their own separate town, village, whatever. That's what they want. A few days ago, I sent to the DOS via Chinese in Waru certain legal documents critical to the defense of the faithful currently distressed in Ghana. The goal is to quickly secure their freedom and prevent their rendition to injustice in Nigeria, he tweeted. Nigerian officials had earlier extradited Nnamdi Kanu. The officials had said that Nnamdi Kanu was brought back after he jumped bail and went on a run in 2017. His family and lawyers say he was illegally arrested in June while in Kenya, tortured and flown back to Nigeria. So obviously there's a difference in story of how Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the IPOB, the Indigenous People of Biafra, was arrested. His family say different from what the Nigerian government are saying. But nonetheless, Nnamdi Kanu was arrested in 2021 and extradited from Kenya to the Republic of Nigeria to and he has been in the judicial system going through his court case since then. And eventually on the 20th of November 2025, he has been given life imprisonment on multiple, I think it's 7 charges, on multiple charges. And all of them are being run concurrently. So in all, it's life imprisonment with certain stringent conditions attached. So I just wanted to show you that at the time when these IPOB members in Ghana were arrested, there was no, the leader of the IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, had not been convicted. So even though the Nigerian government designated IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra organization, as a terrorist organization in 2017, it is only on the 20th of November 2025 that they convicted their leader. So this is the state of play.
Just like the Western Togoland people are fighting their battle for secession from Ghana and in Ghana. They haven't run to another person's country, and they're not trying to build their country in another person's country. They're trying to carve out their country in the country of their origin. And that should be the decision of our Ghanaian government, because there's something that you don't want to be. You don't want to be in the middle of a battle between Nigeria and so-called terrorists in Indigenous People of Biafra organization, IPOB. Ghana doesn't want to be seen to be siding with terrorists by harboring the fake Igbo king in Ghana, Chukwudi Jude Ihenetu, who is on record in public saying he's a member of the IPOB. So he has said it. So he has admitted he's a member of a terrorist organization.
I'm an IPOB member. I support IPOB. I can never deny it. I support IPOB because I'm a Biafran.
Kindly send him back to Nigeria and send all the IPOB members who are arrested in 2021 by the erstwhile Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Dr. Bawumia government. Send them all back, since the police already have their profiles. It shouldn't be difficult to find them and send them back. arrest them and send them back. If Ghana is happy to arrest Ghanaian citizens and hand them over to the United States government, because there's a claim that they have defrauded the Americans, the US people, then why don't we do the same with these people? There's nothing worse in life than being in the middle of a battle and siding with one side of the battle. Ghanaians, we claim that Nigeria are our big brothers. That is what most Ghanaians claim. Why would you want to be in the middle, Ghana, of a battle between a tribe in Nigeria who are considered to be terrorists and are part of a terrorist organization? That the people we're talking about are known members of the IPOB, a terrorist organization. Why would Ghana side with them and harbor them in Ghana? We don't even know what they are doing in Ghana, because since they were released after the brouhaha, when the erstwhile Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Dr. Bawumia government released these IPOB members who were having a meeting at Malam Junction. We don't know what they are doing. If they are doing secret, maneuverings to overthrow the Nigerian government, nobody knows, because nobody is monitoring. But now, the matter has become critical now that their leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has been imprisoned, handed down life imprisonment by the Nigerian government.
It's God will punish you now and forever. Criminals. Any judgment, let it be on record. Any judgment given in this court is rubbish. Ask him, where is the law? Ask Omoto, where is the law? Where is the law? God will punish you now and forever. Criminals. Any judgment, let it be on record. Any judgment given in this court is rubbish. Ask him, where is the law? Ask Omoto, where is the law? Where is the law? God will punish you now and forever. Criminals. Any judgment, let it be on record. Any judgment given in this court is rubbish. Ask him, where is the law? Ask Omoto, where is the law? Where is the law? God will punish you now and forever. Criminals. Any judgment, let it be on record. Any judgment given in this court is rubbish. Ask him, where is the law? Ask Omoto, where is the law? Where is the law?
It is time for Ghana to cut all links with anybody who is an IPOB, indigenous person of people of Biafra member. We need to cut all links so that we don't have to carry this burden. That's what we're going to discuss in this episode. Stay tuned. I have a lot of information to share with you concerning Ghana's own problems. We have our own, people who want to separate themselves from Ghana that we have to deal with. We haven't even sorted that out. And then we're going to carry somebody else's burden, import another burden from another country. Come on. Let's sort out the Western Togoland issue, because it hasn't gone away after the high treason verdict in 2024. It's still there, and it's happening live in color. And new cases have come up where Ghana has been defeated by the Western Togoland people. So let's don't dilly-dally with this, and let's don't play games. Let's get serious as a country. So His Excellency John Mahama, it's over to you and your people. Let's carry on. Kindly go to www.kofi.com/COURTROOM. Download these two free ebooks. The first ebook is on 365 days of leadership daily devotional. And the other book is on corruption. Corruption in the 54 countries of Africa. In this episode of Judge of Ghana TV, we are comparing the indigenous people of Biafra secessionist group with in Nigeria with Ghana's Western Togoland secessionist group. And basically, just to give a preamble before I get into the substantive matter, the reason why Ghana does not have to entertain the IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra secessionist group in Ghana, in any way, shape, or form, is because it would be like taking sides, one side in a fight. The person who goes to intervene and sides with one side is always vilified. It's like a couple who are married, because if you are a tribe in a country, you are sort of married to the country. So let's use the analogy that the Igbo people, who are the Biafrans, are married to Nigeria because they are a tribe of Nigeria. Though they come up with all sorts of stories, they hail from Israel. This is how it is at the moment. That's where they are. That's where the indigenous people of Biafra are located, in Nigeria. That is their base. So whether they hail from Israel, that's what they say. Because if I also look at the history of the Asantes, they also were part of the Israelites, according to people who have done research. Because I'll just mention a story that my father told me when he was a young medical doctor in the UK in the 60s. He said he met a young man after he qualified, and this man said he had gotten his PhD, and the topic was the lost tribe of Judah. And this young man told my father at the time that he asked him, what tribe are you from, and what country are you from originally? And he said, oh, he's an Asante. And the man was so happy. This Nathanson was his name, according to my father. He said this man called Nathanson said to him that he was so happy to hear that my father was from an Asante. And he said, you know, I gained my PhD and my thesis was on the lost tribe of Judah. And he said, I studied many tribes around the world and in Africa. And he said he eventually decided that the lost tribe of Judah were the Asantes, because he came to stay in Asante Mine, came to the Asante region, stayed with the people, watched their customs and their cultures, and he compared it to what the Israelites do. And he said, without a doubt, his research points to the fact that the Asantes are the lost tribe of Judah. And he said, upon that, he was given his PhD in the UK, United Kingdom, based on this research. But he said the people who gave him his PhD said he needs to keep it quiet, because I guess it's not something they want people to know publicly. So this is a story that came out of that. So many people say they are from Israel. Even there are some people in Ethiopia at the moment who say they are Israelites. They are the original Israelites. And in fact, the Israelis have accepted those people in Ethiopia to the point where some of them actually emigrate to go and live in Israel. Although when they go to Israel, the white Israelis discriminate against them. But that is happening. So let's come back to the issue at hand. So what I did was I decided that I wanted to do some research into and compare the IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra in Nigeria, with the Indigenous people, the Western Togoland secessionist group in Ghana. And what I did was I did some research and I looked at the so-called incidences of what has happened in terms of the Western Togoland agitations of 2020, 2021, and I think there was a judgment in 2024. And I tried to piece the information together to understand, looking at things that were available on social media. And I've got some clips to show you on the whole Western Togoland issues that developed during the erstwhile Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Dr. Bawumia regime from 2016, or let's say 2017 to 2024. How they handled this Western Togoland issue. So I've got some clips from that, and it will sort of set the scene. After you watch the clips, then I will continue the story and we'll take it from there. So take a listen and watch this.
A security intelligence-led operative by the 66th Artillery Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces in Ho has led to the arrest of 21 rebels suspected to be members of the secessionist group Homeland Study Group Foundation. The 21 suspected rebels are currently in custody of the police for further investigation and subsequent action. My colleague Joshua Ira was at the location and filed this report.
Armed and booted, ready to take command from the commander of the 66th Artillery Regiment of the Ghana Armed Forces in Ho. These selected military personnel are part of a previous night's intelligence-based operation into the valley of Fevwe in a community near Kpevedue in the Volta region. According to the personnel, some unidentified men alleged to be members of the secessionist group Homeland Study Group Foundation had pitched camp at an alleged militia training camp in a valley. The troop set out by air, road, and continued on foot for over an hour into the hideout of these suspected rebels who were apprehended last night. We've trekked for over 40 minutes and still in the woods trying to locate the Fevwe near the Dwe community here in Jude, where the is. And as you can see, we are still in the company of the troops, and we are trying to identify the said location. After hours of trekking and missing the foot track leading to the alleged militia training camp, the troop finally arrived at the said camp of the suspected rebels.
We had intelligence that there were about 20 to 25, between 20 and 25 recruits currently undergoing training here. At the end of the operation, we were able to get 20 of them. So about 3 to 5 managed to escape.
According to the special unit of the Volta Barracks, the special operatives, numbering 46 in total, managed to round up 21 out of the 25 suspected persons believed to have been part of the recruited persons for special military training. But some of the recruited members, including the leaders of the group, took to their heels upon sensing they had been compromised. But Commander of the 66th Artillery Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel B.B. Pantois, intimated that the operations will not cease until they apprehend the rest.
The operation is not yet over. We are still pursuing not only the escapees, but any other member of the Western Togoland secessionist group. We are on their heels, and we are very confident that we will get at them.
The 21 suspected rebels spent their nights in the grips of the military after they were apprehended. According to the suspected rebels, they had paid 800 Ghana cedis to be recruited. Speaking to GH1 News, 26-year-old Divine Bejra tells me he was misled.
We got here, that was last week, Saturday, and we were trooped into this jungle somewhere 10 p.m. in the evening. And just for we to find out that at the end of the day, it is not what was said that we got to realize, but rather it was a different thing that has to do with illegalities and a whole lot of stuff.
21-year-old Justine Abochi, the only female amongst the 20 males, equally lamented how she was misinformed and deceived into thinking that she was coming to work on a farmland for some foreign nationals.
So it was a friend that called me that they said they will be doing some farming system for the white people in a place. So she gave me the number that I should call. Yes, we will come and work for the white. They will pay us, and if you work at a place, they will shift out to where they have been doing their farming. This one. So the directors, they called. They said we should pay 800 Ghana. That's the money that they use to feed us and take care of us. So I paid the money, and the directors to come to Georgia. So when we came to Jude, they gave us a number that if we reach Jude at this time, we should call the number. And the motor came to pick us and brought us to the bush.
According to the accounts of the suspects, they were held against their will after they realized they were deceived and subsequently threatened to be killed should they attempt escaping. And it is believed that this is where one would describe as their pantry, where they get to spend some time to eat of what they have here while they actually wait on the next day to begin their training exercise there. And it was here that they actually had to apprehend quite a number of them, and there were a number of them that took to their heels. Then they had to leave these receptacles here. But of course, following the account by the 66 Artillery Regiment here in the Volta Barracks, they are still on the operations to actually get the escapees. In a single file, the suspects were led out of their hideout in the company of the military personnel to be conveyed by air to Accra to be in the full custody of the police for further investigations and interrogations of their motives by the Criminal Investigations Department of the Police Service.
It's a tale of pain, sorrow, and uncertainty.
I was praying passionately, asking God why, and I realized tears were rolling down.
It's one thing to face punishment for committing a crime, but what happens when a death penalty stares you in the face?
I asked myself, why? Why this? Ask God, why? Did I deserve this?
Among the accused were ACP Dr. Benjamin Akojo, Corporal Saidu Abubakar, and Colonel Samuel Kojo Gameli. For 4 years, the pair lived in fear as a case that took the country by storm went through the legal processes. They were part of 10 persons caught up in an alleged plot to destabilize the nation with accusations of conspiracy to commit high treason, abetment to high treason, and high treason.
You saw the soldiers, it was conspiracy, but they've been acquitted on the substantive charge.
They are now free men, but they say the strain, stress, and agony of the last 4 years remains palpable. ACP Agojo says he has learned some vital lessons from the period.
As for friends, a lot of them abandoned me, and I wish them well. One thing is clear, that those who believe in you may not even ask you questions about certain things. They just believe that you could not have done this.
The policeman says he wasn't the only one affected by the trial. He claims the impact on his family was intense, especially his wife.
They were trying moments for her, having to move from here to the police station daily, daily, and going to court. Whenever I had to go to court, she has to go there, and blending this with her work, they were all not easy for her.
While ACP Agojo appeared confident throughout the trial process, Corporal Saidu Abubakar, on the other hand, was slowly losing it.
But the life in prison is not easy at all. due to the sleeping, the way they do their things. I'm not capable with it, for it. I asked myself, oh, this is my end of my life. I will not step out again.
Corporal Seidu's wife had just birthed her newborn 4 months to the incident, and life without her husband was grueling.
And I watch my little daughter. I'm going to leave her behind and go and spend my life at prison. I feel very, very, very emotional. Cried throughout the night. Cried. My wife too cried.
Concerning a wife, it wasn't easy at all. The pain and the crying, the drama and everything, it's not easy for her. At times, I cry myself.
The pair attempts to get their life back quickly on track. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Did you see there appeared to be a lot of agitation in 2020 and 2021, which culminated in a criminal case, the state versus the coup plotters, Western Togoland coup plotters. So let's summarize everything so that you get the picture. So I think let's first start. After watching this, let's first start with the IPOB and Western Togoland comparison. The core goal of the IPOB in Nigeria, they want an independent state of Biafra for the Igbo people in southeast Nigeria. That is their objective. That is their goal. With the Western Togoland secessionists in Ghana, they want independence for the former British Togoland Trust territory, now part of Ghana's Volta region. So that is what the Western Togoland people want. The primary method that has been adopted by the IPOB, the indigenous people of Biafra, is confrontational and militant. Incitement via broadcasts, enforcement sit-at-home orders, alleged attacks on security forces. So the IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra, are violent people. The way they want to get an independent state or separate themselves from Nigeria is to adopt violent tactics. And this, their broadcasts, is meant to give the people who listen to these broadcasts a certain, it's supposed to make them act in a certain way and work on their mind so that they can be militant and confrontational. And if you ask a lot of Nigerians who are not Igbos, they will say that the most confrontational and militant group of Nigerians are the Igbos. That is what they will say. Okay? And if you look at the Western Togoland secessionists, after the brouhaha in 2020, 2021, up to 2024, which culminated in the criminal court case, they have decided to go the legal advocacy route. And they're focusing on international law, and they have a recent landmark court case and a historical non-violent protest approach. I would like you to help us grow this channel by liking, sharing, subscribe, and press that notification bell so that we can notify you of new content. The key incident: Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, has been sentenced to life imprisonment for terrorism charges as of 20th November 2025. On the other side, with the Western Togoland people of Ghana, the ECOWAS court ruled Ghana breached rights of Western Togoland members. And this ruling came in May 2025, awarding the Western Togoland members compensation. State response. We're talking about the Nigerian state response to the indigenous people of Biafra. Military and judicial crackdown. Designated as a terrorist, the leader of the Biafrans, indigenous people of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has been imprisoned. The Nigerian government is also undertaking many military operations because the Biafran army, the Igbo people actually have an army. So they fight with the armies of Nigeria. They have their own army who are well resourced. So they have their way to resource their illicit army. With regards to the Western Togoland, it's mixed. The Ghana government has arrested activists using colonial era laws, and they're also facing legal accountability from regional courts, which is the ECOWAS ruling. It seems like Ghana have decided to not abide by the ECOWAS ruling regarding the Western Togoland secessionist groups. Current status: leader imprisoned. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been imprisoned. Violence persists in southeast Nigeria despite incarceration. So the IPOB members are still being violent, regardless of the imprisonment of their leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. In terms of the Western Togoland secessionist groups, they've gained significant moral and legal ground through international justice, though tensions remain. So largely, after the brouhaha, which culminated in the May 2025 ruling from the ECOWAS court in favor of the Western Togoland members against the Ghana government. Since then, the people who want separation from Ghana for Western Togoland have been law-abiding and haven't indulged in any agitations or violence. A tale of two histories, one colonial root. To understand the present, we must look at the past. Both conflicts are a direct legacy of arbitrary colonial border drawing by European powers. That is the key. The ghost of Biafra. For IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra, the dream of Biafra is a shadow of a painful past. The original Republic of Biafra declared independence from Nigeria in 1967, triggering a 3-year civil war that killed over 1 million people. This historical trauma is the bedrock and upon which modern-day IPOB sentiment is built. Something that the Biafrans have failed to do is they fail to forgive the Nigerians. So that is why they are agitating and are violent about getting their separated from Nigeria, because they don't know how to forgive. So apart from the colonial dividing of Africa, which was to the advantage of the European colonizers, largely in the English-speaking part of Africa, we're talking about France and Great Britain, England. Because of the things that they did, This is what has brought this Biafra scars. And the Igbo people or Biafrans haven't forgotten. And it's something that all my Igbo friends say. They say they cannot forget, and their fathers and grandfathers keep reminding them, and they keep drumming it into them that they can never be one with Nigeria, because during the war, the 3-year war in the 60s, the only way the war came to an end and Nigeria defeated the Biafrans, which are the Igbo people, was because they starved them into submission. They starved the Igbos into submission. So the Igbos have never forgotten that. And because of that, they hold a grudge against Nigerians. So the Igbos, in fact, do not see themselves as Nigerians. They always say they are from Biafra. And they want to be rid of Nigeria as soon as possible. That is why they're being violent about it. Very combative. On the other side, if you look at the divided land of Togoland, the Western Togoland issue also began on the map. After World War I, the former German protectorate of Togoland was split in two. The western part was handed to the British, who administered it with the Gold Coast, while the eastern part went to the French. Despite a UN-supervised plebiscite in 1956, a plebiscite is similar to a referendum, but with a separate legal and political context. So this plebiscite was in 1956, and this approved the union with the Gold Coast, which became Ghana. A segment of the population, popularly the Ewe people, never fully accepted this outcome. So when this plebiscite was made in 1956 for Western Togoland, the then Western Togoland, to be assumed into Gold Coast, which became Ghana, the Ewe people never accepted this. They say they didn't agree to this. And this is where this secessionist call is coming from. They're insisting that their fundamental human rights were stamped all over by Ghana, what became Ghana. And their rights are still being stamped upon by the Ghanaians. So this is where this is coming from. Divergent paths, violence versus the law. This is where the story splits, defining the character of each movement. IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra's path from airwaves to armed conflict. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's strategy was built on incendiary rhetoric, the kind that led to war in Rwanda. That's the kind of rhetoric that oozed out of Nnamdi Kanu in his broadcast to his Biafrans via his regular radio broadcasts. Through his London-based Radio Biafra. So when Nnamdi Kanu escaped in the Nigerian government caught Nnamdi Kanu in 2015. But during the trial, he managed to escape out of Nigeria and found his way to the United Kingdom. And I hear he became a British citizen. His family, his wife and his children are there, and they've got their citizenship. So When he got to London, he started up a radio broadcast service station, and he called it Radio Biafra. And he preached a pathological hatred for Nigeria. Everything he said was basically saying that the Biafrans hate Nigeria, and it was a message of hate. That is what people say. His broadcasts were ruled by the Nigerian court to have incited deadly attacks on security forces and citizens. The group is accused of enforcing brutal, economy paralyzing sit-at-home orders through violence and intimidation. I actually saw a video of a teacher and some children being beaten by the Biafran military because they said they had violated the sit-in orders of the Biafrans. Maybe we should take a look at that. Take a look at this video.
Everybody lie down. Okay, lie down. Why do you people come out? Why do you people come out today that you know that you sit at home? Huh? Why do you people come out today that you know that you sit at home? Huh? I'm asking you people questions. Huh? They say what? Why everybody down? I want you people to be obeying the rules of Biafran. You need to obey the rule of Biafran. If they flog you today, you people will know that you don't need to be coming out any at home. You understand? Whatever these people will do, don't ever violate the rule of government again, government of Biafran. We want our country to be good. We don't want it to be bad. So that's why they have to treat you people so that tomorrow you will not come out again. Any day they ask you people to come out, whenever they have sit at home, you tell the person, no, you are not going to school. Yes, that's why they're supposed to give you a little punishment. If they give you people punishment, then you will know that you will never come out again whenever they have sit at home. Yes. As you can see, look at their teacher. Today is 5th of July. We want them not to be coming out, but their teacher deceived them to come out, telling them that they don't have anything to sit at home. They should come out for their WAEC or whatever. But we have to treat them so that next time they will never try it again. Yes. It's happening live and direct here.
Through violence and intimidation. While IPOB's official spokesperson has recently reaffirmed a commitment to peaceful advocacy, the violence associated with the group has led to its official designation as a terrorist organization and the life sentence for its leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Western Togoland's path from protest to courtroom. In contrast, the main group advocating for Western Togoland, the Homeland Study Group Foundation, HSGF, has historically promoted its cause solely through non-violent means. Their tools have been dialogue, protest, and historical discussion. This commitment provided the foundation for their recent stunning legal victory. In May 2025, the ECOWAS Court of Justice found that Ghana had breached the fundamental human rights of the people of Western Togoland through arbitrary arrests and detention, ordering the government to pay compensation. This ruling was a direct validation of their peaceful, legalistic approach. the future of secession in West Africa. So when we talk about secession, we're talking about people who want to be separate from the countries that they were part of originally. The contrasting outcomes of these two movements offer a powerful lesson. The cycle of violence. In Nigeria, the government's heavy-handed military and judicial response to IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra, has not extinguished the flame of separatism. As one legal analyst noted, sending Kanu to prison is unlikely to end the crisis, and a political solution is likely the only way forward. So that's the viewpoint. The power of a legal precedent. In Ghana, the ECOWAS court ruling has forced the state to confront its actions. While it didn't grant the right to self-determination, it championed the rule of law and human rights over brute force. This opens the door for further dialogue and a potential peaceful resolution, setting a precedent for other groups across the continent. The story of IPOB and Western Togoland shows that while the pain of colonial borders is a shared wound across Africa, the methods chosen to address it ultimately determines a movement's fate, leading either to a prison cell or to a historic day in court. So there you have it. So having looked at this Western Togoland issue, the reason why Ghana should not entertain these Igbos or IPOB members in Ghana is as follows. We have our own problems. We cannot go and import somebody else's problems. If you look at the Western Togoland secessionists who want to be separate from Ghana, they haven't gone to stay in Nigeria or another African country asking for separation there or trying to create another country within someone else's country. No. What these people have done is they've stayed in their country, their Western Togoland area, in Ghana, and they are fighting their battle to be separate from Ghana from within Ghana. Why can't the IPOB members, the Igbo people, fight their own battle to get separation from Nigeria inside Nigeria? Why do they want to come and hide in Ghana and do all sorts of kululu, shady stuff, having meetings in Ghana? Because that's something that came up in 2021. A whole raft of IPOB members were arrested by the government of Ghana of the time, which was the Nana Addo Dankwa, Dr. Bawumia New Patriotic Party, the former president of the republic, arrested a raft of them. This was the time that they were also being heavy-handed with Western Togoland secessionists. So they were heavy-handed with the Igbos who were having meetings, IPOB meetings in Ghana. And it took the intervention of the lawyer of the leader of the Igbos in Nigeria, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, for Ghana government to, I think, let the matter rest. And I think the fake Igbo king in Ghana, Ihenetu, Chukwudi Jude Ihenetu, was also involved in freeing the Biafrans who were caught by the police. So this is what happened. So at that time, clearly Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the Biafrans in Nigeria, hadn't been sentenced by the Nigerian government to life imprisonment. But now, since 2017, the Nigerian government has designated the IPOB as a terrorist organization. And now, on the 20th of November 2025, they have imprisoned the leader of the Biafrans, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for life imprisonment. So there you have it. So now it is clear as far as Nigeria is concerned. And remember, the Igbos or the Biafrans are a tribe inside Nigeria, from Nigeria. So if your government says you are a terrorist, you expect Ghanaians and the Ghana government and the people of Ghana to accept that you are not terrorists and you can do what you like in Ghana. You're not under the law, you do what you like. Because clearly, the Igbos do what they like. The law says you shouldn't be in retail. The Igbos are in retail. Despite, let's not talk about whether their prices are lower than the Ghanaians and stuff. If the law says you're not supposed to be in retail, you're not supposed to be in retail. Let's call a spade a spade. But the Igbos are, tramping all over the laws and acting flagrantly, doing what they like because they think they're above the law. And our leaders are not doing anything about it or doing very little. That's the problem. So we don't need to come and carry the burden and become an enemy of Nigeria in their fight with their wife, the Igbo people, the Biafrans, because that's what it is. And in life, if you intervene in a fight between a husband and a wife, you always end up being the bad person. Because when they patch up, they will say that you were the person who was causing the fights. They will put the blame on you. And the question is that, does Ghana want to be blamed for any disaster or calamity that happens in Nigeria? Because we have decided to side with the Igbo. Through the fake Igbo king in Ghana, Chukwudi Jude Ihenetu, by accepting him and making him comfortable in Ghana and not deporting him after clearly he has broken the laws of Ghana. I prove that. All you have to look at my previous videos. I've given you the evidence there of things he has said and how he has broken the laws. And what I have mentioned is enough for Ghana to, at the very least, deport him back to Nigeria. That's if they want to. They have enough evidence. And to be a wise thing to do, because we don't want to be the enemy of Nigeria. Ghana is a small country. We don't need any trouble. They are the giants of Africa, Nigeria, and we are the David of Africa. We don't want trouble with them. If the giants are fighting, let them fight their fights. Push them all. We should try our best to repatriate them all back to Nigeria so they can go and fight their fight there. Like how the Western Togoland people are fighting their fights in Ghana. None of our lands in Ghana has Biafra name on it or Igbo name on it. So they are not part of Ghana. And they shouldn't think that they can creep their way. Because let me tell you something. If you look at the character of Ihenetu, the fake Igbo king in Ghana, he is an opportunist. He likes to ingratiate himself with people. And he likes to concoct photo opportunities and video opportunities. because he can use that to create a certain narrative and make people think a certain way. So he's always looking for an opportunity to take a picture with a person of note and power in the country. And that's what he has done. And this is what scammers do. High level scammers do. They take pictures, they associate with people. They might not even be on speaking terms. They just ask for a picture. But the way they'll post a picture in strategic places on social media and stuff, you would think that they are the closest friend of that person. And that's how Ihenetu is. As they say in Chi, Ihenetu Ewura. That's it. Ewura. Only mumpa or the who be river no I pretend eden ho abe fa wo ho. So what you say so that ubedwe say when you are downfall but be a wish and nansen. That's how it is. That's how the Igbos are. They are opportunists. Clearly looking at the character of their fake Igbo king in Ghana. He doesn't shy away from a photo opportunity. So this is my take on it. I saw an interesting video, and it's dated 26th of September 2020, and it comes from Goza TV, and it shows some Western Togoland. They claim they are soldiers. I don't know who has snatched the Ghana police car. So let's watch that. So there you have that one. Also, I saw some videos because the head of the Homeland Security Study, the Homeland Study Foundation group, the secessionist group that were taken to court. The old man passed on, but there's a young man who was taken over. His name is George. I think he said he's George Kumla Nyakpo. This is a video of him. Let's take a look at it because I think he's very eloquent and he seems like he's a peacemaker and he's going the legal route to get Western Togoland recognized. And he's a smart cookie. He speaks well, presents himself well, and I was really impressed when I saw his a couple of his videos. So I think I'd like to share that with you. And let's listen to the chairman of the Homeland Study Group Foundation, George Kumla Nyakpo. Take a listen and watch this.
Hello, my name is George Kumla Nyakpo. I am the executive chairman of the Homeland Study Foundation. The Homeland Study Foundation is the vanguard for Western Togoland call for self-determination. Western Togoland is the second half of today's Republic of Togo. This country was invaded by France and Britain in 1914. Togoland under German administration had no relationship with what might have caused the First World War in the Far Eastern theater of Europe, but our country in West Africa suffered the most. Our people were killed during that war. Our properties destroyed. All economic properties of Togoland got destroyed. As if that was not enough, both countries, France and Britain, divided our country among themselves. Our countries then became known as the Western Togoland and the Eastern Togoland. Per the intervention of the League of Nations and now the United Nations, our country got to become known as the United Nations Trust Territory of Togoland under various administrations, such as the British administration and French administration. The trusteeship agreement forbid both countries of ceding the countries to their colonies, but Britain, in all her manipulations, tried all means to cede the Western Togoland into her Gold Coast colony. This was cemented by the 1956 plebiscite, an action that was against the fundamental human rights of the Western Togoland people and also an affront to the rules of the United Nations General Assembly at the time. Till today, Western Togolanders have no document to show that their country is in any legal relationship with the Republic of Ghana. Neither do Ghanaians have any of such document to show. The 1956 plebiscite strictly says that the people voted to be in union. Till today, there is no sign of that union anywhere. After the plebiscite, no organization or institution represented the Western Togolanders and Ghanaian in signing the results of the plebiscite and implementing the decision of the people to be officially in any form of relationship. But we continue to suffer all manner of treatment in Ghana till today. We have been called severally alien in Ghana, plebiscite Ghanaian, and among others. Anybody that will be speaking about the future of Togoland, Western Togoland, the person is arrested and charged with a Prohibited Organization Act. This particular act is solely directed to only the Western Togolanders, that should anybody talks about Western Togoland, the person should be arrested. Our elders thought about this and decided to come up with the Homeland Self-Group Foundation, an indigenous organization representing the voice of the Western Togoland people. Internationally, the Homeland Self-Group Foundation has worked with the UNPO. We gained admission into the membership of the UNPO in 2017. And this day, October, we are proud to say we have been continuously being a very good member of the UNPO for these past 8 years. So this video is to congratulate us and congratulate the UNPO. Ever since we have been part of the UNPO, the guardianship of the UNPO have made it so that our call for self-determination for West Togoland remain largely very peaceful. We have not organized any demonstration, any protest anywhere to disrupt anything in this country in the name of Western Togoland. Yes, in 2020, some brouhaha here and there took place, and it was supposed to be blamed on the Western Togolanders. But at the end of the day, those who might orchestrated that have revealed themselves. And all investigation revealed that the Homeland Self Foundation and the West Togoland people are actually not behind that act. This is because we have always been guided by the peaceful activism of the UNPO. This day, I am proud to announce to you that for all these years that we have been part of the UNPO, we have been guided to present our case to the United Nations Human Rights Organization. When members of the Homeland Self Foundation and Western Togolanders were being arrested clandestinely, we managed to secure a verdict from the United Nations Working Group on Arbitrary Detention. This verdict demands from the Republic of Ghana to release our people and also amend their constitution, removing the Prohibited Organization Act. We continue to pursue our cause in a total peaceful manner and in the name of the law. As we speak, by the guardianship of the UNPO, We have made our cases before various courts, such as the Ghanaian Supreme Court, that we are seeking an interpretation of the Prohibited Organization Act, and also before the ECOWAS Community Court, we are demanding our right to self-determination and the removal of the Prohibited Organization Act so that our right as people can be restored. This year, we congratulate the UNPO and all its partners for guiding us to remain largely peaceful and also to drum home our demands. Homeland Security Foundation and all Western Togolanders say congratulations to the UNPO, and we pray that our relationship continue to be very fruitful, and we ask that all well-meaning human rights organizations and partners partner with the UNPO. We have so many countries that are suffering like the Western Togolanders, and they need help. And the only voice now is the UNPO. Should there be any problem with the UNPO, many of our organizations will not know what exactly to do. And as you can see, there are so many countries in this world that do not know what exactly and or how to go about their call for self-determination. And they are using their own method. And we can see the result of those methods, some landing those countries into unending radical activities. Many lives are being lost, but in almost all UNPO member nations, we've remained very peaceful largely. Thank you so much, and I pray that we continue to enjoy this relationship. Thank you. Hello. Thank you so much for having time for me once again. Today is a special day in the life of the struggle for Western Togoland call for self-determination. I come your way this special day to greet you, especially on the 16th of November 2019, the Western Togoland Consultative Assembly and the leadership of the Homeland Security Foundation come together in one accord with the population of Western Togoland, declare our stand in the relationship that was imposed on us by Britain. So on this special day, we inform the whole world that the Western Togoland is officially separated from the Republic of Ghana. So today marks exactly 5 years since that declaration. As the leader of the Western Togoland Call for Self-Determination, the spokesperson for the Western Togoland Governing Council, and the executive chairman of the Homeland Security Foundation, I have the honor and the privilege to convey this message to you from the executive council, from the leadership, and to remind you that our declaration to separate from Ghana is 5 years. And in these 5 years, what have we achieved so far? Since 1956, there has never been a stage in our life that we have reached as this. From 2017, the government of Ghana started harassing us because we are simply talking about our history. The arrest started in 2017 with the government of Ghana through the police saying that we were thinking of declaring our independence. That is why they came to arrest our elders. Ever since we started engaging on the legal front of the struggle. It has been our modus operandi never to engage in any acts of violence in the Western Togoland core. We want to set a record that a country was able to separate from a fake relationship with no bloodshed. That is what we want to be noted for. So no matter the anger from the security forces, from the leadership of the government of Ghana to push us to the war so that we can get angry and decided to engage them so that they can capitalize on our anger to say that, hey, you want to cause mayhem. That is why they are sending the military. We don't want to reduce ourselves to that. Ghana said they are a democratic nation, so we are going to test the law on self-determination, the Constitution of Ghana, the various covenants that Ghana has entered at the United Nations to protect human rights. We are ready to go any length to put those laws into test in our case. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is assurance that I'm conveying from the leadership to you for you to be rest assured that our call for self-determination for West Togoland will never be reduced to any kind of radicalism or mayhem or a bloody demonstration. Any attempt that the government will do again, as they did in 2020, will still not materialize. Just as it backfired on them in 2020, anyone that they try to do again will backfire. So our case is before the ECOWAS Community Court. And we have also staged another legal or constitutional challenge before the Ghanaian Supreme Court. We are seeking an interpretation to the Prohibited Organization Act. That act in the Ghanaian constitution that they are using to arrest and jail our people illegally. All the people that are jailed in the West Togoland matter is not that they were tried in a competent court and found guilty. The court in Accra, the High Court in Accra that has sentenced our people, the one in Wa that have sentenced our people because they are talking about Western Togoland, did not find the people guilty of the crimes they claim they've committed. None of the people were found in any case of flagrant delito, but they hurriedly jailed them in their own word to serve as a deterrent to the people. But how will you deter people when you jail them wrongly, when you are not able to convince them legally that they were actually found to be committing the crime you say they've committed? So our people were not jailed rightly in the law. They were political prisoners. They were persecuted and sentenced. That is why we are challenging the law. Ghana, as a democratic country, as part of the United Nations and have signed all human rights law, cannot have a law in their constitution targeting only the Western Togoland part. The prohibited organization, if you go and read the act is simply just talking about only the Western Togoland people. Why should there be a law preventing the Western Togoland people alone from exercising their right to self-determination? It means the Ghanaian government knew something and they don't want us to talk about it. That's why they make that law. It is our human right. If we voted to be part of Ghana, it is still our human right to still say we don't want to be part of this country again, and there must not be any law anywhere. So after our declaration, we started engaging the legal system. And today, we've taken Ghana to the United Nations Human Rights Council on Working Group on Arbitrary Detention when we were arrested continuously. And the council ruled in our favor, finding Ghana guilty and demanding that Ghana should go and amend the Prohibited Organization Act. This was as far back as 2023. The government of Ghana, that is a democratic country, was not able to implement that charge. We took them to the ECOWAS court On the first leg, the courts found the country wrong and pronounced their statement or their judgment, fining the government of Ghana an amount of money and asking them to release our people. But still, the government refused or did not obey the decision from the court. Instead, they were appealing, and we are in the appeal process. We are currently before the Supreme Court challenging the Prohibited Organization Act. So if you ask, after the Independence Declaration, what have we been doing to solidify the Western Togoland Declaration or to protect or to defend the Western Togoland Declaration? These are the legal steps that we are taking. And I am privileged to relay this information for your attention. From the leadership of the Western Togoland Governing Council, we thank you so much for all the support that you are giving to us so far. The matter is still in court, and we are still pleading with you to support us financially so that we can meet the lawyers financially. So I thank you so much, and I pray that you never lose hope as we rescue our country. Thank you, and happy anniversary.
Did you see? Very impressive. And he's a wise man. Now we live in a world of laws and legality. If you have a problem, take it to court. Let the court decide. And he's actually winning against the Republic of Ghana by going the legal route to get separation from Ghana. And to be honest, I can understand his perspective after listening to him. I somehow sympathize with the Western Togoland people, but I believe, there was something that I saw the other day, a recording from a very long time ago from Prophet TB Joshua. I'm not here to discuss whether he's a fake prophet or he's a legitimate prophet, but the words he spoke in the video that I watched were very thoughtful words. So I want us to listen to this video of what TB Joshua said. Take a listen and watch this.
Tell your president all over the world. I'm talking to the whole world. Message is here. Carry your youth along. That is the title. Carry your what? Carry your youth along. Carry your youth along. When we say youth, you know people they call youth. Do you know I'm youth? Because I declare my age, have you? I'm youth. Carry us along, including me. And stop using our stock. You talk of 50 down to 2019. Hardly you see any government, most especially in Africa, you see at that 50-year to 19 in an important position. If you see youth, 19-year, 20-year, 40-year, as a chairman of the company, is either he inherited that company from his father or parent. So God showed me this vision, not sitting down writing an article. This is not press conference. This is a vision I saw. Carry your youth along. I'm seeing a revolution. When I say revolution, I mean every revolution starts by protest. When it starts by protest, at that protest, the power can stop them. They have the ability to stop them. But when it becomes revolution, no one can stop revolution. Revolution means everyone is ready to go for it. This is the one we are seeing in other nations all over. I did it again. I'm seeing what? A revolution. I'm seeing people taken to the streets. At the beginning of that protest, instead of revolution, I said protest is a parable. Yeah, because when it started, you think it's a protest. But at the end of the day, you realize that this is a revolution. You can stop protest, but you cannot stop revolution. Tell your neighbor, you can stop protest, but revolution you cannot stop. You know, every revolution starts by protest. If I'm talking, let us see your hand. It will come, people carry planka. Hey, 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 hey. You say, this is protest. You carry police, you carry everything, you stop them. But when it becomes revolution, everybody are ready to die. So you can't stop it. At the beginning of that protest, I call it beginning because at the beginning of every revolution, it looked like protest. It might be stopped at the beginning. Eventually, it will become so big that it cannot be stopped. I see happen. Nigeria, pray. All over the world, it will move from one country to another. God has given us the way out. Listen to the way out. The way out, are you there? Job creation for the youth and the creation of a new social value system. I will explain. Not job creation, but a creation of a new social value system. This is because 90% of youth believe that it is by becoming political thugs that they could be successful. It by become what? Political thugs. They can be successful. Especially, you see PhD, even a professor today, they become thug to the political leaders. Professor, because they have no job. Can send a professor to do anything for you for money because he has nothing to do. Take note. Because those in the political office do not want to retire in politics and become statesman. You know the reason why the youth turn to thugs? People in power in political offices, they are not ready to retire. And retire and become statesman. Nobody is ready. And the youth, they are jobless. They are supposed to be included in the system. Because when the people up there are not retired, there is no offices for youth, new people, new intake. No matter the education the youth have, whether PhD or professor, youth, they feel they have no place in politics and there is no job to keep them busy. There must be a new orientation. There must be a new what? Orientation. In politics, the youth should be considered for important position, such as assistant to elders. I'm taking it again. In politics, the youth, the way out, should be considered important positions such as assistant to the elders. While the elders are ministers, the youth should be junior ministers. While the elders are ministers, the youth should be what? Junior ministers. This little example of being junior minister can change the situation of things. Tell your president, tell your leaders, tell your prime minister all over the world, revolution is coming. In every department of government or politics, the youth should be junior assistant leader to the head of such departments. The youth should be what? Should be junior assistant to the heads of such departments, whatever department, either chairman of a company or director or administrator. Chairman of the company, that must be junior chairman. Head of processor, that must be junior processor. Just name municipal, that must be junior municipal. A good example, the chairman of political party of your country could be an elder, while youth should be the junior chairman. The chairman of your political party could be an elder, while a youth should be the junior chairman under him. When we say youth, you know what we mean. Among youth, you see professor among them, PhD among them, master degree among them. There is no area of life you cannot find in youth. We talk of 40 to 50 years. 20 years. In all appointment into department of politics or administration, youth should consider as. By doing this, we are training them to take over tomorrow.
Did you see? What he said that I thought was very sensible. He said, you need to create jobs for the youth. And that is what our leaders in Africa must do. And he was talking about Nigeria. There's a saying that goes like this. It says, the devil makes work for idle hands. And to be honest, that saying is true. And if you listen to what TB Joshua was saying, he said, when people are idle and don't have work to do, they think that being a political thug is the way forward. And if you look at all these declarations of independence and the desire to separate themselves from certain African countries, whether it's Nigeria or Ghana, it's all based on the fact that they feel that they have been ignored. They haven't had the share of the national cake when it comes to development. The government has turned a blind eye to them. And they're disenfranchised. That is why people tend to go that route where they want separation. So any wise leader of any African country, as TB Joshua said, if you create jobs and you include the youth in the governance of the country, you will clear away all these insurgencies, agitations, desires to separate. Because the Western Togoland area, I did a bit of research because I wanted to be very clear where the Western Togoland area is. It's actually in the Volta region and I think parts of the OT region. It's part of the OT region. So the territory claimed by separatist group as Western Togoland is not a recognized administrative unit within Ghana. Instead, this area falls within the officially recognized Volta and Oti region of Ghana. As such, it is fully integrated into Ghana's political system. The people living in this area participate in national elections. So they are considered Ghanaians and are represented by MPs in the Ghanaian parliament, just like citizens in any part of the country. The area that they classify as Western Togoland is, a National Democratic Congress stronghold. So there you have it. There you have it. So I believe that I will end with the words and the advice of TB Joshua. It doesn't matter whether it's in Nigeria or it's in Ghana. If somebody wants to be separated from Ghana, for example, we are Ghanaians, so let's focus on Ghana, like the Western Togoland agitation. If Ghanaians bring development, what they call in Ghana, puntuo, and we say the puntuo ko, sa Western Togoland area. We must bring development there, jobs, jobs and factories and industry into that Western Togoland area. Because once the people start earning, prospering, developing, all this talk of separation from Ghana into a separate country called Western Togoland will die down. And if things are going on well, the roads are built well. Look at the picture when they took the Western Togolanders took the vehicle from the Ghana police and were saying that they are independent in 2020. Look at the state of the street. That means that the area is not getting its fair cake share of the national cake. It's not developed. So whoever the ruling government is, which is the National Democratic Congress at the moment, if you want all these agitations to stop, then listen to the advice of the late TB Joshua and start creating industry, businesses, and bringing prosperity to that area. Because when people are prospering, they forget about all these disenfranchised thoughts. That's what will help the Western Togoland areas. Since the National Democratic Congress is a stronghold, then you need to do something about it. Because clearly the people still want to be separate. But I think that if you can bring development to the place and you can sit down with the people who are agitating for separation, for there to be an understanding, and if they see that it is better for them to be part of Ghana because there's of the power of numbers, and the fact that they're also getting a fair share of the national cake, then maybe they'll be happy to remain part of Ghana. But we shouldn't encourage these Biafrans to think that they can carve out a portion of Ghana for themselves. They are not from Ghana. Ghana is a small country. The land we have is not enough for us Ghanaians. We don't have any more to share with the Igbos, the Biafrans. They should go back to Nigeria, where they come from. Whether they are originally for Israel or not, it's not our problem. If they want, they can go back to Israel, talk to the Israeli government, like how the Ethiopians spoke to them, and they can go back to Israel. But not Ghana. Ghana is not their home, and we shouldn't encourage them, entertain them to think Ghana is a home. They are not happy with Nigeria. Let them go and fight in Nigeria. Ghana cannot be a referee in a marriage that has problems. In this case, it is a marriage of country marriage. And if Ghana decides that they won't listen to the citizens of Ghana, the people of Ghana and the youth of Ghana, and they think they want to be a referee, they will end up becoming a victim in this fight between Nigeria and the Igbos, who are also the Biafrans. Ghana will become a victim. Both parties will start fighting Ghana if Ghanaians are not careful. And we have leaders who do not act. Inaction means you agree that you support what the Igbos are doing in Ghana. Because how can an Igbo man be having IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra meetings? How can members be having meetings of a terrorist organization in Ghana and the Ghana government is not doing anything about it? At least Akufo-Addo's government tried to do something about it. But now we can't complain about Akufo-Addo's government because it's past. Now we can complain about the National Democratic Congress government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama because they are the people carrying the reins at the moment. And you're not doing anything about it. Akufo-Addo tried to do something in 2021. The evidence is there. What is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his ruling NDC government doing about this Igbo issue in Ghana? What are they doing? They better get their fingers out and start doing something because you don't want to be caught in the crossfire in the fight between Nigeria and the Igbos. Ghana should not be seen as a launch pad, a hideaway for dissident terrorists. And the IPOB is considered a terrorist organization. That means the members of the IPOB are considered terrorists by the Nigerians. What are Ghanaian leaders? What is the president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency, doing about this matter? You say you are brothers with Nigeria, but you are harboring their terrorists in your country. Hey! Who's wrong? Who's wrong? We are the people of Ghana. We don't want any terrorists being harbored in our country. We don't want any terrorists being harbored in our country. So far as Nigerian government has called the IPOB, Indigenous People of Biafra Group, a terrorist organization. And so far as the fake Igbo king in Ghana has said he's a Biafran and a member of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB organization, then he has admitted he's a terrorist. So what is a terrorist doing in Ghana? And all the other members that were arrested in 2021 by the erstwhile former President Nana Akufo-Addo, Dr. Bawumia regime. When you read the article, it says that they profiled these Biafrans or IPOB members they arrested. That means that the police, the Ghana police, has their fingerprints and their details, photos, fingerprints, all the details, because that's what you need if you want to build a profile on somebody. They have it of all the people. So they can find a way to gather all these people and deport them back to Nigeria, because that's the best thing Ghana should do. If we want to maintain our good relationship with Nigeria, we should deport all these IPOB members back to Nigeria. Like how we are deporting people who have done crimes against the US back to the US to face the law. We should deport all of them back. And if the law deals with them, fine. If the law lets them go, fine. They are in their country. But we shouldn't detain any IPOB members in Ghana. Because, as I said, and this is my conclusion here, when there's a fight between a husband and a wife, or in this case, a country and a tribe, and you go in the middle and side with one person, which is Ghana. Ghana goes in the middle and sides with the Igbos because of the fake Igbo king in Ghana. Ghana will end up becoming a casualty. So it's in the interests of the country called Ghana to round up all these IPOB members, including the fake Igbo king, Chukwudi, Jude, Ihenetu, and sending them back, so that we can have peace of mind. I'm repeating the late president of Ghana, John Atta Mills. He said, Amezie mepe asundwe, Ghana for your part, we need peace. We don't need all this hoopla and brouhaha concerning the Igbo, IPOB, and criminality here. Send them back. Please, Mr. President, send them back to Nigeria. So that you don't become, Ghana does not become a problem between these two people who are fighting. This is all I want to say on the matter. If you like this type of content, I would like to like, share, subscribe, and thank you for listening, and see you in the next episode. And what I would like to say is Ghana first, always. Bye for now, and see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Father God, you're the judge of Ghana. Take control of the state.